This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 753, A Little Guide for More Comfort and Joy by Courtney Carver of BeMoreWithLess.com, narrated by Jenn M. And I'm Justin Malik, your host, and usually your very own personal narrator, where I find some amazing blogs that I really think you should hear and narrate them for you totally free of charge. Just hit subscribe in your favorite podcast app. And by the way, this is also with permission from the authors. And I said usually your personal narrator because today, like yesterday, I have a guest narrator for you. It's like a little break for me, but also a nice way to change it up and tell you about some really cool people. So I usually have guest narrators narrate their own content, but today is a guest narrator who is narrating Courtney Carver's blog. She picked out this post herself just for you, and she's a bit of a celebrity. I'm talking about Jenn M. of the super popular Clothes Encounters YouTube channel. She covers fashion, beauty, and lifestyle, and her channel has over 2 million subscribers. And this is a little experiment to have celebrities narrate content. This whole podcast started out as an experiment, and I'm always open to trying new things, so why not? I don't want to make this intro too long, but I do want to say that Jenn has been so supportive of this show. She's mentioned this podcast a few times to her subscribers, and even has a video doing today's narration, so you got to check that out. It's really cool to see how she did it. You can find her at youtube.com/clothesencounters, which is linked in this episode's description. And I got to link that video where she shows the narration too, so you can find that also. I'll tell you a little more about her at the end. So for now, here's Jenn M. narrating for you as we optimize your life.
A Little Guide for More Comfort and Joy by Courtney Carver. When I think about all the times I was wrapped up in the pursuit of more, it's clear that I really did want more. I just didn't want more of what I was pursuing. It took me a while to recognize the pattern, but it was usually in times of heartbreak, great uncertainty, self-doubt, or worry that I craved more. So I worked more, shopped more, spent more, ate more, owned more, and owed more. My quest for more snowballed, and when I felt guilty for spending more, I ate more. When I felt guilty for working too much and spending less time with people I loved, I spent more on them. I was always caught up in some sort of vicious cycle, but was too busy and consumed with more to know what was going on. In those times, it wasn't more hours on the job or shoes in my closet or a second piece of pie that I really wanted. While I never could have articulated it then, what I wanted was more love, connection, laughter, and adventure, but that was too hard to measure. Instead, I worked more, spent more, and accumulated more, but I was never really satisfied. It was never enough. I wanted more comfort and joy. The holidays can bring out the very best and worst in us without us even recognizing it. They have a way of sweeping us off our feet. If you notice that you are hyper-focused on more of the things you can quantify, take a minute and ask yourself what you really want. If the answer is more comfort and joy, this little guide will help. A little guide for more comfort and joy. Pay attention to your behavior around the following topics and pause to ask yourself what you really want. Food. Sugary, fatty, rich food may call your name, especially over the holiday season. We gravitate towards it in the winter months or when we are feeling down. There's a reason why it's called comfort food. Overdone though, the comfort turns to belly aches, fatigue, weight gain, and more cravings. What do you really want? Perhaps your cravings aren't for cookies or a third serving of pie. Maybe instead you want to feel full, abundant, complete. Taste your favorites and then take a break. Get up and walk around. Write about your first bite and the memories it evokes. Smile when you remember making the pie for the first time with your grandma, or the look on your friend's face when you delivered a tin of homemade cookies. Find the comfort and joy early on instead of working harder for more. Gifts. One Christmas when my daughter was very young, I wanted to give her the world to make up for all of my mistakes. I didn't have the money for one gift, let alone a pile of presents, so I applied for every store credit card I can think of. My credit cards were close to their limits, but if I could find a few $100s of credit at a few stores, I thought I could give my daughter the Christmas she deserved. What was I thinking? At 3 years old, she couldn't possibly enjoy the onslaught of gifts, and by January 1st, my spending hangover set in. If you tend to overspend to show your love, you know how I felt. Spending more to prove how you feel never works. What do you really want? If spending is your way of showing and feeling love, consider how long the feeling has ever lasted. I still enjoy gift giving, but now I see it for what it is, and it's never about what's inside the box. Never. It's about the smiles, the hugs, and the time spent with people I love. Give what you can, but not for the purpose of proving or pleasing. Instead of the perfect gift, find a meaningful gift, like telling someone how you really feel about them, a playlist of the music that reminds you of someone, a love note, or a walk around the lake. Entertaining. The holidays may seem like one event after another. We compromise our energy, especially introverts, because we feel guilty saying no. We overdo the spending, eating, drinking, decorating, and underdo the sleep and self-care. We keep going and going and going and wonder why we feel run down or get sick. What do you really want? If hosting or attending festive events is fueled by a desire to connect with others, but you're completely sick of people by the end of the year, there may be better ways for more connection. Instead of doing everything with all the people, be selective. Schedule a FaceTime or a Skype session with the people you might miss this holiday season, or ask them if they'd be open to getting together early in the new year. If you want more comfort and joy. I don't know if you can relate to any of this, but it's been my experience that with less of the excess, I find more peace, love, and connection, more comfort and joy. Write yourself a letter today before things get crazy. Remind yourself what you really want more of. How can you shift from overdue to underdue? How can less equal more comfort and joy? How do you really want to spend your time, not just over the holidays, but all year long? I plan to fully engage in the holiday season by celebrating with people I love, enjoying my favorite treats, and exchanging gifts, but in a way that feels good. When we realize that comfort and joy is not something we have to work for, less is enough. We don't have to turn our lives upside down for more comfort and joy. We can find it sitting quietly, listening to our favorite holiday songs, waking up early to enjoy the stillness of morning, or taking a walk. The comfort and joy you seek is waiting, and all you need to do is pay attention to it.
You just listened to the post titled A Little Guide for More Comfort and Joy by Courtney Carver of BeMoreWithLess.com, narrated by Jenn M. of Clothes Encounters on YouTube. Thank you to Jenn for doing it, giving me a break from narrating, which is always nice, and doing this little experiment to have celebrities narrate content they pick themselves. Now, besides having the super successful YouTube channel called Clothes Encounters, she has partnered with Target, Calvin Klein, the NBC Olympics, and more. And she has her own line called Eggy, which happens to be one of my favorite things to say in the world, even before I heard that was the name of her fashion line. It's such a funny word to me. Eggy. But anyway, do check her out, her channel. I have it linked in this episode's description, and I'm including a bonus link where she shows herself doing the narration you just heard, which is really cool. I guess now that she's been on this show narrating, I have to go on her channel and do a makeup tutorial. For some reason, I don't think that'd be quite as effective. Anyway, moving on. Pretty sure she heard about this podcast from her friend Amy Lee. So I'm going to have Amy narrate content for you too, and we're going to continue this little experiment tomorrow. Make sure you're subscribed to this show for free in your favorite podcast app or Spotify to get tomorrow's episode delivered to you the minute it's available. And with that, thank you again to Jenn M, and I will see you tomorrow for yet another special episode where your optimal life awaits.
Hey, this is Dan from the Optimal Finance Daily podcast, which is a lot like this show, except more focused on personal finance. Justin handpicks the best posts he can find from blogs and authors like Ramit Sethi, Mr. Money Mustache, and more, and I read them to you 5 days a week. So if you enjoy this podcast, come on over and subscribe to Optimal Finance Daily too. And together, we'll optimize your financial life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.